All right, girls, I want to get started. We're actually doing the actual topic called functions, okay? The stuff that we've been doing, it's still technically under functions, but this is the actual meaning of function, all right? Function is a special type of relation where for every x value, there is one unique y value. And let me explain that graphically. So we have a parabola here, y equals to 4 minus x squared. Let's say if I substitute x equals to 1, what y value do I get? So if I replace this with 1, that's just 4 minus 1 squared. So that's 3. So at 1, the y value is 3. Let's sub another value. Let's say if we substitute x equals to 0, what does y equal to? 4 minus 0? That's 4, yeah? So at 0, the y value is 4. So in this example, what I'm trying to say is when you substitute an x value, yeah, there is one unique y value. Okay? When you substitute another x value, there is one unique y value. However, in this example, you haven't learned this yet, but this is a sideways problem and this is an equation. From this equation, girls, if I substitute x equals to 1 in here, so that's y squared equals to 4 plus 1. So y squared is equal to 5. So what does y equal to? Plus minus root 5. So what that means is at 1, there are 2 y values. Yeah? So this is your plus root 5. This is your minus root 5. This is an example of not a function because when you substitute x value, what do I get? 2 different numbers. You can't have that. So a function is when you strictly have one unique y value when you substitute an x value. Okay? So you can't have more than one y value. Now, if it is a function, there are 2 different types of functions. Now, this is called, actually, before I show you what it means, girls, in this example, if I substitute 1, you know how from that example I said you get 3. But if you substitute also minus 1 into the previous equation, 4 minus x squared, if I substitute, so if I sub x equals to minus 1, what y value do I get? 4 minus bracket minus 1 squared, what's that? 4 minus 1? That's still 3, right? So can you see that these 2 x values share the same y value? So this is still a function, but this is what we call a many to one relation. Okay? And what that means is, like you can see, you have more than one x values producing one y value of the same value. If I was to draw a diagram, girls, with the, well, I don't know what this is called, like a x and y value map. Girls, so girls, when you see a diagram like this is called a many to one relation type of function, okay? Where you got more than one x value giving the same y value. Okay, you need to know the definition of that. Now, this, on the other hand, girls, this is equation of y equals to 2 to the power of x. If I substitute x equals to 1, for example, if you do put 1 in here, you're going to get y equals to 2. My question is, are there any other possible x values that could also possibly give you the value of y equals to 2? No, there isn't. Okay? So this is called a 1 to 1 relation function. Okay? So in the diagram wise, so this could look like this. So 0, 1, 2, and you got 1, 2, 4. So diagrammatically, for each x value, there is one unique y value to each x value. Whereas this one, you've got different x values, but they can also give the same y value. Okay? They're both functions, don't remember that. Okay? But these are the 2 different types of function. Okay, now, how do you tell from graphically if it is a function instead of having to do all this? It's what's called a vertical line test. Okay, let me get a different colored pen. Actually, I'll just use black. So for example, I'll just use, hold on. I'll just use this one. Girls, from this graph, a vertical line test is basically you drawing any random vertical line on any part of the graph, and if it only hits once, it is a function. Okay? Whereas here, if I drew a random vertical line on the graph, how many times does it hit? Twice. So if it hits more than once, it is not a function like I've shown you. Okay? Now, once we've established it's a function, an easy way to tell if it's a many-to-one or one-to-one function is to use horizontal line. Okay, and I'll do it in purple. So we've established this is also obviously a function because if I draw a vertical line anywhere, it only hits once. We know both of these are function, but if it's many-to-one relation, draw a horizontal line. If it hits more than once, as you can see, it's a many-to-one relation. Yeah, hits more than once, many. That makes sense. Whereas here, if you draw a horizontal line on the graph, it hits once, so that's a one-to-one relation. Does that make sense? So it's like a flowchart. First, you establish if it's a function or not. If it is a function, you gotta ask yourself if it's either that or either that. If you want to know if it's many-to-one, use horizontal line. Does that make sense so far? Okay. So let me draw it out. So to tell, okay. So first thing you do, so I'll just do like a flowchart. Vertical line test. So if it hits once, what is it? Function. Hits more than once, not a function. And then after the function, what do I use? What do I use? Horizontal line test. And after the horizontal line test, I'm running out of space, but yeah, I'm running out of space. But if it hits one scales for horizontal line test, what is it? If it hits once, 1 to 1. Okay?
Just write 1 to 1.
Okay, it's just the way textbooks done it. Okay? If it hits more than once, it's many to 1. Obviously, don't have space to write that, but you get the point. Okay, so this is like a flow chart. All right? Now, girls, we also need to examine if it's not a function. Girls, it is a relation, and there are two types of relation. Many to many or one to many, and here's how it looks like. Many to many looks like this. Now, actually, I'll do one to many first. All right? Here's what one to many looks like. So you got the x coordinates, girls? Oops, that's a 5. Okay? So, girls, this is a relation where it's one to many. So what this means, girls, an x coordinate can give you 2 or more y values, just like this one. When we substituted x equals to 1, you know how I got plus 5 and minus root 5? So this is what you would call your one to many relation. One to many relation, okay? Now, many to many, I'll do many to many here because I'm really running out of space.
Oh my god.
Where? What's wrong?
You know there's another whiteboard there, right?
Where? Oh, but I want to record, yeah. So, girls, many to many is basically your chaotic scenario where you've got multiple, x values and y values overlapping each other. Okay? So, alright, so an easy way to tell girls, in the exercise, what makes it tricky is they'll give you diagrams like this and you have to tell which one of these it is. And I'm going to give you girls another flow chart based on this. Girls, this is the only note that I really need to give you for this. Girls, if you have multiple arrows coming out of x, so this is your first x column, it's not a function. See out here, when I say multiple arrows coming out of x, it means multiple arrows coming out of like each and every x value. Sorry, x value I should write. Does that make sense?
Can I take a photo now?
Hold on, see this one? There's only one arrow coming out of each x value. That's a function. Whereas here, you've got multiple arrows coming out of each and every x value. That's not a function. Make sense? All right, so take a photo of this. Now I want to actually go through some examples from the textbook to elaborate what I've just explained. Yep. Now, when they give you a coordinate like that though, what I like to do to make sure I don't make any silly mistakes is actually write those coordinates like this. So you've got -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Because remember, if you have multiple arrows coming out of x value, it is not a function. So for -2, where does it map to? What's -2 with? What's the y coordinate of minus? Yeah. Yeah, do you get what I'm doing? I'm just drawing a, you just got a mapping. -1 goes to?
4.
Next one, please.
5. 3 and 4.
3 and then?
4.
Okay, so first question. Is it a function or not a function? It is a function. We don't have any multiple arrows coming out of each x value. So it is a function, and like I said, what kind of function is it?
Many to 1.
Yeah, many to 1. Yeah? So, yeah, many to 1. Okay. Girls, let's draw a map again. So we got the names. I'm going to write W, Scott, Geoff, Dang, and Steve. All right, ST for Steve. And then I'm going to write the actual names, the colors, because G. All right, so let's map this out. Wade has black. Can you keep going for me? Blonde? Yeah.
Brown.
Okay, so firstly, what is it? Oh, is it a function or not a function? It's a function. Yeah, if it's not a function, you say it's a relation, and it's many to 1. Yeah.